How to write non-fiction. A general dictionary defines non-fiction as a book that presents factual information, ideas, or events. It is written to inform and educate the reader on a specific subject or topic and to provide readers with accurate information into a particular subject. Such books allow readers to deepen their understanding and knowledge of the world around them. When you read non-fiction, you're reading about something that really happened and not a story that somebody made up. This type of writing requires facts and research checking. Writing a non-fiction book can be a wonderful experience as it will show you as an expert in some subject. This episode will give you a bunch of tips on how to write a non-fiction book. What to write? There are plenty of subjects on which non-fiction books can be written, but that does not mean you can write on any subject under the sun. To write non-fiction, you must have some knowledge and clarity about what you are writing. So, choose your subject or topic carefully. Also, think whether you can really write 100 to 200 pages on the topic you choose, because many topics are only suitable for long articles and not full-length books. Many topics cannot be stretched beyond a few pages or a couple of dozen pages. Also, visit bookstores to see what kind of new books are getting published and what genres are popular. Talk to booksellers to get ideas and suggestions for what readers ask for. What is the latest fad? What genres of books are selling like hotcakes? What subjects do readers find interesting? Then explore writing books on those subjects. For example, some of the popular types of books that help people are motivational, inspirational, how-to, self-help, memoirs, textbooks, history, cookbooks, scientific, biographies, true stories, travel guides, religion, etc., as shown in the table. Such books can be read again and again. You can also write books from your own experience or profession. For example, if you have worked in the chemical industry for many years, then you would have gained enormous knowledge that you can pass on to newcomers with your book. Read like an author. Even if you have extensive knowledge of some subject or topic, it is not easy to quickly write a book on it. To be a good author, you must also be a good reader. When you choose to write a book on some subject, first read 3 to 5 books that are similar to the topic you have chosen. Also, read many articles on the same subject. But your reading should be more intense and focused than a casual reading. By intense, I mean you should carefully focus on how the information and chapters are formed. For example, some books will be all fluff, or too difficult for the intended audience, or not explained properly, or may use a dozen sentences to explain something that could have been explained in just 5 sentences, or may even contain many useless chapters just to fill pages, etc. Also, brainstorm on what is missing or difficult for the average reader to get in those books. That is, find out what the author has not explained in his book but perhaps should have been included. Make a note of all such gaps and then start writing your book. Audience. Every non-fiction book must be aimed at a specific type or category of readers. Next, think of the age group for your book, like busy executives, novices, CEOs, employees, students, etc., so that your book will help or appeal to those readers. Ask whether your book topic has a local, national, or international audience. For example, if your book solves or tackles a widespread problem, then it will probably sell more because such books have the potential to help thousands or even millions of readers. That is, you should know exactly who you are writing for in order to decide on what to write and how much to write. How to begin? Begin by asking questions to yourself about the topic you are writing. For example, if you want to write a book on stress management, then start jotting down several questions like what is stress, why is it caused, who gets affected, what harm does it cause, how to eliminate or reduce stress, etc. These are the basic questions that any ordinary reader or layman will want to be answered. Then start answering each question. The first draft. When you start writing, simply jot down all of your ideas and thoughts, and start filling the pages. What I mean by this is you can just start scribbling and don't worry about the chapter names, preface, acknowledgements, etc. initially. They can be framed and improved once you have about 60 to 70 pages of useful info. Besides, no one can write the final version of a book in one shot. Use famous quotes. It is always a good idea to use interesting quotes from famous people in your book wherever possible. For example, if you are writing a book on leadership, make generous use of quotes from famous people like Churchill, Lincoln, etc. Such quotes are like sprinkling diamonds and can greatly enhance your book. But remember to mention the names of the people who stated those quotes. Secondly, you can also try to write funny and interesting quotes of your own. Sometimes, entire paragraphs and examples can be written based on a great quote. Simplicity. Choose simplicity over complexity. When writing a book, there will always be a temptation to write in a pompous manner using complicated words and sentences. For example, if you see many college textbooks, you will quickly notice such books would have been written in a complicated way that only top professors can understand and not by ordinary mortals. Now ask yourself, do you want your book to be read by a large number of people or only by a few brainy college professors? Unless you are a megalomaniac, the answer will obviously be a large number of readers. Hence, bring yourself down to the level of an average reader. Think in their terms. Use the words and sentences that they can understand. Eliminate all complicated words that ordinary people don't understand. Also, avoid writing long, awkward sentences. Instead, split them into 2 or 3 sentences. The book you write must be easy and useful for a large number of readers. Remember, you are writing a book for others to read and not to read it yourself. Edit. After having written some sentences or paragraphs, revisit them after a few hours or days. When you give it some time and return to revise it with fresh eyes, you will suddenly discover many ways of improving it further. Writing a book involves plenty of editing, polishing, deleting, rearranging, moving, revising, etc., without hesitation. So, do not hesitate to chop entire paragraphs, or change the story entirely if necessary to make your book better. Don't overwrite. Often while writing non-fiction, you will not realize that you could be saying the same thing over and over again using different sentences. Learn to recognize this writing mistake. Saying the same thing in different ways will only frustrate the reader and will also add unnecessary fluff to your book. So, Read every paragraph carefully to see if you have repeated something multiple times. Practice condensing paragraphs and retain only the simplest and best possible sentences. Also, don't be afraid to ruthlessly cut unwanted lines or paragraphs or sometimes entire chapters if you feel they are repeated, even if you have slogged earlier to write them. Write slowly, take your time and don't hurry. Even if you write just half a page a day, then in about 3 to 5 months' time you will have a 75 to 85 page book that you can be proud of. Then, you can add items like a table of contents, preface, copyright, acknowledgements, etc. Finally, we can end this episode with a great long quote. Non-fiction is a genre that is both broad and specific, encompassing everything from memoir and biography to history and science writing. What unites all forms of non-fiction is the search for truth, the desire to understand the world around us and to communicate that understanding to others. Non-fiction writers use a variety of tools and techniques to achieve this goal, including research, observation, and personal experience. They are, in a sense, detectives and explorers, seeking out the stories that make up our world and piecing them together into a coherent and meaningful whole. Non-fiction is not just about presenting information, but about making sense of that information and helping readers to see the world in a new and more informed way. Rebecca Skloot.